Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading is a weekly reading focusing on the energy surrounding us during the week of September 17th through the 23rd, 2018. For the reading, I'm using the Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid, and I have pulled one additional oracle card from the Soul's Journey deck by James van Praagh. As I like to remind you, these are general readings. The messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way to get a truly personalized reading focusing on you, what's going on in your life right now, will be to get a private reading from me. If you're interested, all of the information can be found in the description box below this video. Another quick reminder, the mid-monthlies are out, and the mid-monthlies focus on the areas of career and finance and love and relationships for each of the signs. So take a look at your video. Be sure to watch not just your sun sign, but also your moon and rising sign, okay? All right, so let's get started. So we have the past energy as we are heading into the new week. Major Arcana. This is the Judgment card, right? This is number 20, and this deck is called Call. And it's followed by another Major Arcana, the High Priestess. This is number 2. And the outbound energy for the week, the Queen of Water. And the card that was at the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the week, the Six of Earth. Now it's interesting because if you look at the three main cards here, it's like they're almost identical, right? The colors, the images, it's all very much very similar. And I think that, the messages coming through with the three cards is slightly similar as well. We'll get into that. The oracle card is balance. Okay, and we have as the mandala, there's some beautiful greens. We also have like a purple and blue, and it says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. And I'll read the full meaning for this card after we go through the main spread. So starting off with the Call card or the Judgment card, it does sit in the past position. So you might have already, experienced this by the time you hear this video, by the time you hear the reading. But it's a card that deals with, it can be a significant decision that has to be made, sort of a judgment call, making an important decision. It can also have to do with, sort of endings and new beginnings. This is, it can be, that like one thing has to end in order for the rebirth to happen, right? It's also a card that can speak of listening to the voice within, right? And the calling that comes from within, and you're being called to, there's a purpose, or you're being called to do something. And so it's about sort of listening to that call, heeding the call, and then, moving forward with great purpose, going after whatever this, this new calling is. This can be, it can be in many areas. This can be with yourself, so this kind of relationship that you have with your spiritual life. So listening to the messages coming through from your higher self, listening to your intuition, the calling that the messages that come in from your higher self. This can also have to do with just moving forward with great purpose, making a difficult decision possibly, and then just going, sticking with it and moving forward. And again, the message of intuition and listening to, the messages coming through your intuition, through your dreams. We have the High Priestess and the Queen of Water, who is also a very intuitive character, okay? The High Priestess she really sits, between like our physical realm and the spiritual realm. So she is sort of this, like the guardian of the veil, the veil between our realm and the spiritual realm. And she is somebody who, she encourages us to tap into our psychic abilities, tap into our intuition, listen to that higher wisdom. Listen to that inner knowing that comes through, trusting in your vibes, trusting in that gut feeling as you're making a decision. If you're making a decision that has to do with, a relationship, listen, pay attention to that gut feeling that you get about a situation, about a person. If this has to do with a financial decision, again, listen to that voice within. Okay, if this is about a new job, when you think about, imagining yourself working in that new place or doing that job day in, day out, what is that gut feeling that you get? Is it sort of like an excited feeling, or is it one that you're like, I don't know about that? Pay attention to that. Okay, these are messages that could possibly be coming through. Also, the High Priestess is, she is linked with the moon. So there could be these messages coming through in your dreams. Pay attention to dreams this week. It might be a good idea to keep a dream journal. I know that I mention this at times, but it's something that, it can help. And at first it might seem a little strange, when you wake up to write things down and, you don't maybe at first see how they tie, these things tie in. But as you maybe move through the week, as you start dealing with decisions or dealing with different situations, you might discover that, these words or, these things that you jot down, they in some way tie in with what you're dealing with, and they could bring you some insight, right? So pay attention to those messages. Now, you could be dealing with a water sign individual. You do have the Queen of Water here, and this would be the Queen of Cups. And the Suit of Cups has to do with our feelings, our emotions, our relationships, right? And it's also how our feelings kind of move things along, how they affect our behavior, how they affect us as we move through life. Again, if this is a person, it's typically an older water sign individual, so Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. So it could be, right, a person. And this person is usually very, very compassionate, very loving, somebody who, is good at taking care of other people, sort of that emotional caregiver, somebody who takes care of the family, that loving figure, who just in general likes to take care of people. It can't even be like a healer. This person can oftentimes work in jobs that have to do with healing, right? Any type of healing, whether this is spiritual healing, emotional healing, physical healing. This could be, somebody who works in the like the medical profession, or just somebody who does, different types of healing, such as spiritual healing. But it's a very compassionate individual. Now, if this isn't a person, again, this message is coming through to, it can have to do with healing of a relationship, healing. This can even be sort of an internal issue here, working on yourself. And again, the Queen of Water is very intuitive. She's a very intuitive person. She's very good at controlling her emotions, but she's very good at tapping into her intuition, her psychic abilities. Once again, this, listen to that voice within and pay attention to that. And what all of this has to do with, right, the overall energy is the Six of Earth. And this is a card that speaks of balance, okay? The Suit of Earth we really associate it with everything here in the material realm. So, the tangible things that we can touch and feel here in the material realm, such as the work that we do, the money that we earn for that work that we perform, has to do with our resources. And resources can be, financial resources. They can also be things like, time, like our time is a resource. It can have to do with education, family, home. And again, the six, it has to do with balance. Okay. So there's sometimes in the traditional tarot, and this deck gets, portrayed very differently, but in the traditional tarot, it's the mentor-mentee card, where there's somebody, usually sort of with an outstretched hand, and then there's somebody else giving to, helping somebody. And it's this give and take, and it's about, remembering that when you are on the giving side, so when you have extra, and this can be extra money, when you have extra time, when you know, whatever this extra is, extra resources, that you share of those with others. Because, you know, when you are on the receiving end, you never know when you might need, you know, somebody to come in and share with you and help you. It's that give and take, right? It's about having this balance, having that give and take. When you're able to give, you know, to do so, because you might one day, you know, in the not so distant future, be on the receiving end. So there's it can also have to do with like getting, sort of receiving something. Sometimes when you're going to the bank, you're asking for a loan, right? There's this payout, so you might be receiving money, money coming in that can have to do with unexpected things, you know, unexpected resources coming in. Sometimes the card is when, like, if you've loaned somebody money in the past, you know, they might appear and have the money to pay you back. Or you might be asking somebody for a loan. Or you might be, you know, seeking a loan at the bank. Or you might have enough money to repay a loan at the bank. So it, you know, it can go both ways here. But it's a card that generally has to do with balance and generosity as well. So there could be just, you know, you might be experiencing generosity this week. People being extra generous with you. You might be receiving, you know, unexpected surprises, like having to do with your resources. This could have to do with, you know, think in the workplace, maybe this is an unexpected bonus, an unexpected raise. It's a good energy, right? And it's a balanced energy. It's very good. And that's what's tying all of this together. So going back to our three main cards, you know, there could be a decision. There could have been a decision already made, or you could be called to follow, you know, a different path, or you could be receiving a call. This could actually be, you know, or be linked to this resources coming in. So maybe you know, with the Judgment card, there could be an ending. Maybe you're leaving a particular job and you're receiving this call. You're having this fresh start, this brand new beginning. This sort of renewal, right, within a new job. There might be you know, again, could be a promotion, could be a completely different job. But there's a definite focus on listening. Okay, so listening, paying attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the, you know, messages coming in, that gut feeling, using your intuition. And again, balance. And the Six of Earth is a card of balance. And the card that came out from the Oracle deck is also balance. So let me read you the full meaning for the balance card and see what other information we can get here to add to the reading. And it says, balance means bringing a sense of stability and wholeness into every area of your life. Many times when you look at a situation objectively, you will resonate with one side more than the other. Try not to view either as good or bad, but simply recognize that it is. The true nature of the scales of balance is to give both sides of a situation your equitable, objective perspective. It can be difficult to understand the side that you don't relate to, but that is a lesson in itself. What is it about you that prevents you from giving both sides of the coin your judgmental assessment? Your non-judgmental assessment. This situation or person has been placed in your path to teach you that everyone has his or her own unique, authentic life story, and you must put yourself in that person's shoes to really understand his or her motivation. Balance is a godly virtue, and if it is struck, you will reap the benefits of insight and compassion. And, you know, if we look back at this call card, the Judgment, it can also have to do with, you know, the ability to understand. So being able to understand, or being willing to forgive, you know, this sort of new consciousness as well. So there can be changes that come about by understanding, or through, you know, through understanding and forgiveness, that can bring this balance. The Six of Earth, or this, you know, the Six of Coins, Earth energy, it's also a card of success. It can have to do with success, like I was saying, coming in from, receiving something. This can also have to do with your work, just finding success at work, this balanced approach to work, or some success coming through in the workplace. And then, the two intuition or highly intuitive energies here of the High Priestess, the Queen of Water. There could be, again, this need to tap into your intuition, listen to that, and it could help with the this understanding and bringing about the balance that that this other card is talking about. So it looks like a good week. Looks like a deep going within and really listening to those the messages coming through. Definitely pay attention to dreams, signs, synchronicities, repeating numbers, songs, things like that. That they may be quite important as you move through this week. So I do hope that the messages have helped you. I thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to reading for you all again, and just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful week. Bye for now.